Remind me later to go and watch the your XP boost has ended one.
Yep.
I'll watch that before I go to bed tonight.
There it goes. It's now ending the A&D hosting.
Did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard that. Alright, according to this thing, we are live. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and South on the hello, Lieutenant Jenny Jr. As you all just heard, yes, I have Aaron on here. Once again, forgive me, I am having all kinds of issues that I am not giving up. My career as a game streamer. So I am doing the best I can. Thank you for following me and bearing with me. As you heard me earlier when we flipping out, my screens, they're gone. All I have is the basic starting soon. I try to put the other ones, D right back, ending train, but every one of them, starting soon. So I deleted all of them. I am not gonna go to Showtime. You have Twitch at all, or?
Oh, that's right. You're going to.
Yeah, I don't have YouTube. Apparently, my XSplit is corrupted, and I can't seem to stream to YouTube anymore. And
yeah, give me a second. I didn't even think of that. I did remember that I left some bills upstairs, though, so I've got to go look at those and make sure nothing's due that I forgot about. Alright, anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked. Let me
go
pull it
ahead,
up on my phone.
So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm jumping on to switching. I finally, as you can see, I'm back on the Elgato. I literally had to uninstall all my Elgato, literally take it out of the computer, take out everything, anything and everything, setting-wise, style-wise, whatever, put it back in so the computer saw it as a new device, and then the Asus Diathlon 1, it's a ROG card. It's a sound card, Extreme Gamer card by Asus. Once again, I had to delete all those stuff, delete all the settings, yank it out, and put it back in so the computer would see it as a new device. But, and then later on, I will upload this to YouTube, so Snubs and Longsword and all you guys, please bear with me. I am having all kinds of issues, but I'm not giving up my game stream. I'm here with Aaron.
Alright, testing.
Oh wow, I like that. I gotta use Twitch more often. I just had a thought that your friend Doogie the Bounty Hunter has started watching you. Okay, how's it sounding?
Alright, both sound and video look really great. In fact, I love the fireplace angle that you got there.
Yep. So, yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is not one Klingon, the one that was 58. Again, sorry, I wanted to stream her, being pushed into 60, this, that, and all, that I just ran into all kinds of computer issues, so... in this next SSI check, I'm dying the tire supply. I'm getting the A&D back up. Coding everything else. There's no tires, no spyware. But I'm just having all kinds of issues lately. Alright, so, as you saw earlier, I kind of did a sneak peek type thing, just everything else. This Wednesday, the cryptic people will be doing a kind of the Q&A type thing, just everything else is Wednesday. On Twitch, at least it's only going to be on Twitch and Facebook, not sure about YouTube. I did a quick thing. I thought they were showing the whole entire lockbox, but as you saw when I shared the stream earlier, all they did was show the one shift and the other shift. And like, if you were listening to Nathan Cryptic, oh my God, you need to learn to fly. Aaron here, who's a escort data pilot, would do a much better job. And when the door queen says, I'm coming for you, you don't stand there. You run like a bat out of hell.
Well, I missed that stream, but it sounds
Yeah,
like
you'll
it
definitely have to
ended
watch
really
it.
well
And do
for
you
them.
know, when you watch that one, did you catch my code word? Retro look, Atari look. When you watch that thing, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because I think they did it on purpose, to be honest with you. When they got to that one part where when they was going through sector space, and all of a sudden the graphic looked like old asteroid, Atari 26 asteroid. I think they did that on purpose.
All right, Jimmy. Well, we have a lot to cover tonight. Let's go
Yep.
ahead and
So
what do
after stream here, this
let's
is Q&A.
we didn't really talk about it, but why don't we real quick set up a show order?
Yeah,
Why
that's what
don't
I'm
you
about to do.
start?
Now this
Why don't
is
why don't you start with the cruise, because that's going to be real easy to get out of the way.
crew.
The cruise, the
Vacation
contest.
cruise.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank to Bryant and the 10th lead. And grab it. They have to
Sorry,
make it
ladies and
see.
gentlemen. Usually I make him set something like this up ahead of time, but we didn't
Yeah,
we
it
didn't talk
takes them a
about the
little
order
time,
today.
dude.
It's been
Alright,
a really long
so,
day.
okay, winning Captain on Star Trek Cruise Tear with those 150 Star Trek Online ships. Where is it? The
Hey,
Star
look, it's
Trek
my
crews are
luxury line.
offering you a chance to extend Star Trek Never to Thor on January of 2018. So this is an early type thing. Try to win a
Oh,
chance.
yeah, because a cruise like that books up really fast. They already did the first one this past January. I entered a contest to try to get into it, but that didn't get me. If I'd have got that, you don't know. um,
Well, you see right now there's zero because they just got posted just a little while ago. But you got 11
right.
days, and I'm telling you, if you want a
Uh,
chance, definitely grab
yeah,
it
I
now.
would, because those cruises, as far as buying tickets, those cruises book fast and they're pricey. So
Yep.
they're totally worth it if you can get on it. But unless you've got the cash to go out and do it and order it ahead of time, like a year,
Yeah,
then
it
the
looks like the
contest like
Steelers
this
gonna
is
be
going to be
on
your
there.
best bet.
And AJ, you know who Commander AJ is, right? From the
I know
Hudson
you've mentioned them
Truckers.
before. Yeah.
Well, AJ, thank you for the Idaho and happy birthday. Because it is his birthday, so thanks to Katana. Like I said, AJ, sorry about the thing here. I was trying to do a stream here, and Katana had other ideas to kill my stream, to get me to watch you a little bit. So sorry about that. So me and Katana had a nice little talk earlier today. But
All right.
anyway, so like I said, this does look fast. You see, so far, this is confirmed. All these people that you see, I'm not sure who that is. That's
You're
LaForge,
not sure.
Q,
You're not sure who. You're not sure who is.
the first one.
Vaughn Armstrong?
Yeah.
Uh,
I recognize some of these names. Like there, that's Dr. Crusher. That's Captain Riker. That's Q. No, this Q. That's Worf. Um, Bernstein, that's Data.
the the first one, Vaughn Armstrong, is. Hang
Nice
on,
picture
I gotta
there.
find it.
But now these names here are confirmed, and they will be on this
Um,
cruise.
he was on a bunch of episodes of Enterprise, like a guest star. He was a voice in Elite Force 2. You remember that game? He was on Bridge Commander, Star Trek Armada 2. He was a couple of different folks on Voyager.
Oh, so okay, so he's background
He was
actor
a couple
there.
different folks on Deep Space Nine. You probably know him most as Goldenar. Not like Goldie Cott's like lackey, the second guy.
Oh, okay.
Um, he was in. Oh wow, he was in a lot of stuff. Okay,
Yeah.
he was on Babylon 5. Um,
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, people like him, they definitely get around. But like I said, a lot of these names I recognize, just a few of them I don't recognize. But now, this list here, ladies and gentlemen, it has to come. These people go.
Are there any others that you don't recognize, Jimmy?
Let's just keep going, because like I said, it's already 10 and 11.
Yeah.
I definitely want to get to that, because I got a couple of things I have to do tomorrow, just everything else, and, kind of get the stress out of my system, because yesterday and today,
Right.
it's been stressful.
Yeah, if there's any more of those you don't recognize, Jimmy, let me know, and I'll tell you who they are.
Alright. Alright, now, do you want that other stream that I posted earlier? They posted this one time on the one stream and kind of showed this shit and this shit off. But here's the stats. I'll make sure this is linked into the stream and everything else, so that way you can look at it. But as Aaron had noticed, yeah. And the way this shit was going, like I was talking with Aaron, the guy, the guy, who was doing the stream with the other guy, that like the art director, the art designer of this shit, and everything else. The guy Mike was handling this shit. He was handling like a pilot escort, and he was doing the flip, the roll,
that's what it is.
Everything else.
Like we were talking about, Jimmy, that's exactly what it is. If you look at those bridge officer stations, the very first slot is a commander station, and it can be tactical if you want it to, or it can be pilot. So the folks that you were watching probably were taking advantage of the special bridge officer slots that are on the ship, which are pilot and intel, and then a couple of universals.
Yep. Now, I'm going to say, you dropped down the dual warhead launcher.
Which reminds me, I needed to look at the, I needed to look at the weapons setup. Hang on. Okay,
heavy weapon, dual heavy warhead launcher. This Starship comes with a dual warhead launcher and a heavy weapon set.
Now remember, Jimmy, that, what was it, a railgun?
Yeah, it's a railgun. This is the new slot that only escorts have. Heavy weapon slot.
It's not just escorts. It's T6 ships. And T5U ships. There's actually a little bit about it in the patch notes once we get to that.
Oh, okay. So you need all that.
We'll talk about. Okay, we'll talk about the heavy weapon slots a little more.
And they're like, holy moly.
Yeah, we'll talk about the heavy weapon slots a little more in a minute.
Then you've got this Neutron sensor butler. A Theta class heavy raider comes equipped with a Neutron sensor butler with the console ability activated. Your starship will release a powerful electromagnetic pulse that will basically stun all nearby ships, preventing them to be able to attack you, and as well knocking their engines offline. Also, you'll gain a critical hit chance and a critical hit severity bonus for a short time. When Mike launched this thing next to the door cube, it literally stunned the door cube, pushed it back a little bit, and then he turned around and fired his heavy attack weapons at the cube. Now, granted, he did not have that thing stuck well, because he was just flying, he had like basic common white axe, or just everything else and all, so he didn't put anything fancy on it. So, of course,
and not to mention, it's not easy to push a Borg cube anyway.
It shook it, put it that way. It shook the door cube, and then the door cube came back and blew it up. And then here's the other one. Then he jumped on this ship. Now, the one that we were just looking at, that's the Raider ship. This one here, the Handock, comes equipped with a heavy particle emitter.
Huznok, Amy.
Huh?
Huznok.
Sorry.
That's the one. That's the one that's in the. That's the one that's in the lockbox antelope store. The Huznok.
Yep. But when they got this ship and they started flying this ship, a lot of people right off the bat, that's the ship off the Next Generation. That's the ship. I recognize that. And the other people's like, what weird looking shit? What the hell, But when they fired this thing and they saw the shit flying, and they actually got on the back end, coming up on the one planet to make it look like it's, the way it geared in and just everything else. And Captain Picard like, yeah, go ahead, I know all about you. Go ahead, do your thing, blow up the planet, go ahead.
Now, both of these ships came from a great pair of episodes. We talked a lot about that on, oh god, what was that, Friday?
Yeah, it was Friday. But now this ship, the one that you saw in the show, you saw it firing a thing, you saw it firing this particle effect, and basically wiping out the whole entire planet. Well, in this one, they used it on the door cube and really gave the door cube a real shock to its money, just everything else. But because they didn't have anything equipped on the ship, that got blown up. But this stats on this ship is interesting. A plus 33 electrical damage to a heavy particle fuser array, a focuser array, a plus 33 recharge speed, so the sensor, so when that particle thing, when you put both of those consoles on, you're getting a bonus, a double bonus, plus a 25% hull penetration skill. So, when you put this thing together and have both of those consoles together, you're going to tear into a shit hole when their shields go down. I just wish they had the picture effect of this doing its thing. Because you saw it light up like this, and then firing at the door cube and knocking that door cube down to like 20% or something, just everything else and all that, because they only had Colin X, Colin X gear, Colin X type stuff, just everything else. It didn't stand up much when the cube fired back. It didn't stand up much. Alright, still reading?
No, I'm not.
Alright, ready to go to the next one? Pack notes of the blog.
Do the blog first. It's a pretty simple blog. It's not a lot of giveaway. It's just
that it kind of leads up to
it doesn't really. It does in a way, and I kind of really like the way that they did it. We'll talk more about it as we get into it. But yeah, let's do the blog real quick because, like I said, it shouldn't take us long.
Yeah, because like I said, I'm going to go ahead and let you read it. You do a better job. I'll just butcher with my redneck speaking. But, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, this is really good. And that time I was laughing while I was reading, but go ahead.
Let me pull back up because I did not leave it open. Sorry. I had just left the patch notes open.
Right. And
what I find really interesting is that the picture here on this blog is supposed to be these three people talking, and they're supposed to be at Utopia Planitia, but that is totally the research lab.
Exactly. Now, after this one, ladies and gentlemen, I did jump on Turtle to see if there was any new fleet projects kicking in and everything else. Because we don't have fleets on the thing, but you can still jump on there and look on the map and, go to, on the map it'll show, fleet something, this, everything else, but then when you get there, it says you have to be part of the fleet. But I did try to see if there was anybody else, talking on the chat, this, everything else, and see if anybody else like, yeah, there's a new one here. But now they were dead quiet today. Or, no, wait, I didn't read that, did I? No. Yeah, so they're in our timeline. Yeah, they're in our timeline.
Yeah, they are. Alright, you ready for me to read it?
Yeah, it's just I suddenly got a wild idea. When they all got together,
Well,
that this is in,
there's
you throw all this
there's
stuff
not that
steroids.
much to this blog, like I mentioned. Um, basically, yeah, there's not really a lot to it. Um,
Yeah, and the only thing I'm seeing is Ferengi entry 2411. That is the only timeline I'm seeing. Everything else they talk about like there's Rule 312 and the go ahead.
Alright, hang on. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask. I really am. Okay, so, alright, so we got Welcome to Utopia. Wow, I can't talk now. Great. Welcome to Utopia Planitia, Lieutenant Widu said cheerfully as her two guests entered the small conference room. I hope your journey here was an uneventful one. It was remarkably dull, replied Tamara, the engineering representative from the Klingon Empire. I was able to finalize my proposal and refresh myself with some of the Federation's engineering standards, particularly regarding holotechnology. Wedo nodded nodded in acknowledgement. Wow, I cannot talk, Jimmy. This was a bad idea. Before turning to face the other new arrival.
Klingon bloodline mix it with some Ron the nail, and what do you have?
Yeah. Alright, and turn to face the new arrival. And you, sir, you had quite a distance to travel, even when using the gateways. A faint smile crossed the face of James Hunt, the Borg Cooperative's representative. It was a rewarding journey in many ways, Lieutenant. Not only did I get to see a Dyson sphere for the first time, but I also returned to the Alpha Quadrant. It's the first time I've done so since my assimilation. It's pleasant to see the solar system again. Well, welcome back, Wedu said as she took a seat. I hope you two won't mind jumping right in on these simulations. Command's waiting for our final evaluations and recommendations, after all. Proceed, said Tamara as Hunt nodded in silent agreement. Tamara called up the first simulation to review. Ha! Ferengi entry. Negus 2411. Wedu frowned. I'm going to vote nay on this one. I found the bias against females and non-Ferengi too strong in the final product. Tamara grinned. I don't know. I'm a Klingon female and I did quite well in the simulation. Really? What was your secret? One word. Tribbles. Tribbles. I thought Klingons hated tribbles. Most Klingons do. The rest of the galaxy does not seem to share that opinion. I made billions. I opened Tribble World theme parks throughout the Alliance. They even made a new rule of acquisition to honor my achievements. Rule 312, never underestimate the value of small, cute, furry things. I kind of like that one personally. While those results are interesting, said Hunt, I must vote with Lieutenant Wedo on this matter. I would also add that the economic stimulation is peripheral to the skill sets this initiative seeks to reach and improve, or to teach and improve. Very well, said Tamara, mild disappointment in her voice. What's the next simulation? The Escalation entry, Trials of History. I'm torn on this one. Fighting with historical figures was fun and educational. This also sounds kind of fun, but I think it's a bit abstract for our needs. A nay vote here. Our non-Borg test groups fared poorly. Hunt said, his telltale smile returning. Despite the aid of Sigmund Freud, Socrates, and Billy the Kid, the teams were soundly defeated by a host of Borg drones. Excuse me. They fared even worse against the Iconian forces. The cooperative votes nay as well. Your group probably did better than mine, James Wedu said. Montgomery, Scott, Zephram Cochrane, and Archimedes of Syracuse were great engineers, but they didn't do so hot against George Patton, Hannibal, and Kalis the Unforgettable. Our version was far too easy, added Tamara. I fought with Kang, Kor, and Koloth all in their prime. We did not suffer a single defeat. While glorious, I must vote against this sim. Sounds like we should table that one. Let the Excalibans work out the bugs and resubmit. Wedu said, here's the next one. Binary circuit. The entry from Izar, said Tamara. Ground operations focus. Good marks from the Klingon evaluation team. The focus on problem-solving skills was particularly well received. We vote aye. Agreed, Wedu said. The Federation evaluation team wants to explore the use of the simulation's mechanics in other environments, Zankethi in particular. An aye vote here as well. The cooperative team has some technical feedback to share with the design team regarding the authenticity of board cube environments, added Hunt. We do not see this as an impasse. However, our vote is aye. Excellent, said Wedu. Let's move on to the next sim. Then the Gorn entry, Cora Soul. I understand you worked with the design team on this effort, Tamara. Is that correct? It is, Tamara replied tersely. It will not affect my evaluation, however. Well, our eval team gave it top marks. A fine balance of combat and non-combat skill usage in a space environment. Training entire crews and multiple ships to fight as one team. Well done. The Federation votes aye. Thank you, Lieutenant, Tamara said. And what is your evaluation, Hunt? The cooperative evaluation team rated the simulation in the upper percentile in all aspects. Our vote is aye. Wedu called up the remaining simulation to the display monitors, and last but not least, the Riemann entry, Twin Tribulations. Hunt spoke first this time. Space environment, team structure, emphasis on problem solving and speed, variable challenges to keep the crews on their toes, another highly rated simulation. The cooperative votes aye. Space combat isn't just about blowing things up, added Tamara with a smirk. Development of other skill sets can make the difference in high-threat situations, especially when facing the unknown. The Empire votes aye as well. Alright, sounds like we have our 3 initial competitive wargames, Wedu said, with a smile. Production on the test facilities should commence as soon as possible. Command wants to start teams through this initiative by the specified launch date. Will that be a problem for anyone? Unlikely, replied Tamara. Our production facilities on Kronos are well versed in such matters, and the cooperative can have a complete queue built with the appropriate specifications by the launch date, said Hunt, once the ISR team has incorporated our feedback, of course. I'll be sure to send it along, smiled Wedu. Now then, who's up for giving that Excalibur simulation a go with me? I want to take Tamara's Klingon dream team up against those Iconians that gave people so much trouble. Hunt gave his telltale smile and nodded in agreement as Tamara stood, grinning wolfishly. The eyes have it, said Wedu. That's it.
Alright, so there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for reading that. Now,
Yep.
That's
a lot to read.
Huh?
That was a lot to read.
Yeah. But as you're reading through this blog just now, you kind of notice what's coming up. Binary Circuit, Twin Tribulation. These are all new missions that are coming up. And like I said, go ahead.
Specific kind of new mission, in fact.
And, and that's why I tell everybody, if you want to know what's coming up, you want to know why I know so much about the game and I'm able to stay ahead of the game, I read these things literally like I read the Bible and pick all the little clues out and okay, clue, knock them all out, go from there and, most of the time, boom, there's my answer, and down the road, there's my answer. But all of this here is leading up to what comes next. Patch notes.
Yay, patch notes.
Now these links, like I said, I'm going to put all of this then into the stream later on, just everything else. That the new storyline is called Near and Snoke. These here are all FTS. You have to team up with people and do that. This here is the storyline. These are FTS. This here is the reputation. Which is not bad. I'm actually looking forward to this, especially when you get the gun and you don't have to remodulate against the Borg. I am hoping now. I did jump on Twitter today to see if they changed it or not. So far, you don't have to remodulate. You can
hang on a second. Your Twitch stream seems to be buffering, buddy. So I can't see what you're looking at. So what did you just cover?
I'm now on PC Patch Notes.
I know, but what did you just cover from the PC Patch Notes?
War Games, the reputation.
Oh, I got you. All the 3 different war games, which are pretty straightforward. We've already seen a lot of news about them. There's a whole, if you look at the blog article or the patch note article, they give you a link to descriptions about the war game scenarios.
Yep.
Yep. The same thing for the featured episode, which is going to be interesting. Wait a minute.
Now, when you become a general,
Oh, Lee crap.
have you seen some of the stuff they're putting in?
Hang on a minute. Let's back up a second. Featured episode. I want you to read number 2.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about right there. Traveler with Kanar. She's the Klingon, right?
No, Kumark
she's
is the
new thing now,
Lucari.
Yeah, she's the new thing now to the new planet of Kantar to defend that.
New Kentar. Now, do you remember why Kentar is important?
Because of that coordinate that they're holding on to.
Do you remember how it was involved in the last episode?
She was trying to use it to, recreate life on this dead planet, or they're using it as planet.
Not exactly. Well, you're not wrong, but that doesn't have a lot to do with New Kentar. Kentar, if you remember, from not the last featured episode, but the one that came before it, when we went down onto the surface and we fought the Zenkethi for the first time.
Click on that link.
The Mirrors and Smoke, it shouldn't have anything special in it that we haven't read already.
This is not the new planet, is it? Why does it look
the
like
planet the planet you're looking at in the picture is the new planet.
Yeah, because I clicked
I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee it. However, if I may, I'd like to finish explaining to you why Kentar is important.
Go ahead.
In the featured episode that came, not the last one, not Survivor, but the one before it, where we went to stop the Zenkethi from detonating the protomatter weapon and destroying this pretty planet. It was the first time we fought them. You remember when we were going to those moons that were around the outside that the Zenkethi had been using as a test subject?
Oh, okay, yeah.
When we scanned one of them, she said, "Oh my god, I think this is Kentar." Kentar, remember the history of the Lucari that she gave us in that episode. The Lucari came from a planet. There were two, I don't know if they were separate species or what, but there were two groups living on Kentar at the time.
Two faction type, same people.
Kinda. The Lucari and the Kentari. Now, the Kentari pretty much stayed behind, or at least that's what they believe. That's what the Lucari think happened. Anyway, Lucari left, kind of the way that the Vulcans who would later become Romulans left Vulcan.
Yeah, but I was about to say, kind of thinking, these people wanted to stay primitive, these people wanted to stay with the old culture, the old religion.
It was... Yeah. So there was some messed up stuff happening with their planet, and Kentar died. And then the Zenkethi later used Kentar as a test for the protomatter weapon to wipe out the whatever life was left on it. But we never found out what happened to the Kentari. We assumed in that episode that they died. However. If there is a new Kentar, then that means the Kentari are still out there. So these people that we're seeing out there, possibly those people that we're seeing in that picture, maybe Kentari.
Could that say something?
We'll have to find out tomorrow when we test the new content.
I said I was about to get the major spoiler, the Expanse.
No Expanse spoilers, Jimmy. I still have to watch the finale, buddy.
Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, Star Trek, one thing about Star Trek and Star Wars, they always interchange with each other. But then, depending on what shows is on the air, what shows is going on, sometimes you'll see resemblance to those shows of some sort that might be, in the know, that everybody's watching and everybody's, enjoying. So they'll take little bits and pieces here and there, they'll throw it into the game. I'm almost wondering if there's going to be little tits and pieces coming, and those people we saw in the picture, are are they somehow getting their clues to the extent and they're putting their 2 cents in of, hey, this looks cool, let's throw it in the game, kind of?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's inspiration in some places, but I feel like a lot of the inspiration that they're getting for these things are actually coming from Star Trek. I mean, there are also some things that definitely were like ripped right from Star Wars, but
Yeah.
but similar ideas in sci-fi or inspiration in sci-fi is not that uncommon a thing. If you see that new movie that's coming out, Valerian, it's based on a comic book that was done in France. And literally, if you look at the art for the comic book issues of Valerian and you compare them to stills and images from Star Wars, pretty much looks like George Lucas ripped off Valerian. That's the way it looks.
That's not good.
But so like he took the looks and he changed a couple things. Like it's uncanny. But anyway, I digressed.
Right.
So yeah, you are right that we are probably getting inspiration from other sources, but a lot of what we're seeing is still very much 100% Star Trek. But anyway, that's moving on. We're speculating about things that haven't happened yet. Tomorrow, when we go to play the featured episode, assuming we get in okay, and that the patch doesn't take too long, we'll be able to talk more about it and do some more streaming, because we have a day planned tomorrow. When I get off of work, Jimmy and I are gonna patch up, jump in, and start looking at new content.
Exactly. Then we're going to go right from there. So we're going to be on our main turns. We're going to push through. Now, once again, you notice episode can be played at captains who are level 10 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
So you're the entry level that just came out of the tutorial. You're 11, 12, 13. You can do it. If you want to get all the epic gear and all the epic stuff, just everything else that the game will give to you, do it now. Get it over with. That way, when this thing, at the end of the month, next month, because they usually run like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then it gets rotated where this is no longer level 10. You have to do level 60. So if you want to get all the stuff and at least have a chance while you're leveling up, then wipe out everything and have a good laugh at it, grab this and go. Now go with it.
Right.
Now these next two, these are your new FTFs. You have to team up with teams. Now granted, I've never been able to do core assault. Nobody else was able to team up. The yesterday, I finally got someone to team up with me and a group, this everything else. Decided to do this. This is space battle. This is ground battle. Just to let you all know.
What I would suggest, Jimmy, we'll keep this part of it short, because I mean they've already been covered in previous streams. But what I was going to suggest is tomorrow when I'm at work, if you patch up before me, if you want to try to get a group together to stream the war games, do that, but save the featured episode for me.
Oh, I will. You hear that, Brain Drain? You hear that, Ghost? We are not doing you guys until Aaron gets off to work. So don't bug me 10 times in a row. Let's do this. Let's stream it.
Well, like I said, you can do go ahead and do the STFs without me, so you can test them out. See what
featured episode.
But not the featured episode.
Yeah,
featured episode, Jimmy and I like to explore the first time through.
Exactly. Because I will hold my ground to Aaron, who's my second in command of this fleet. We do everything together. We, do... if you ever watch YouTube,
Well, it's because I want to check the map out almost as much as you do.
Reaction to Star Wars, reaction to game, reaction to commercial. Me and Aaron kind of do that in here. We unconsciously wait to do the teacher episode. We don't want anybody else's until we do ours. And then after we do ours and we react to it, go through it, then that's when you see, we'll go look at everybody else. I'll look at your Goonie, Tinderwolf, this, everything else. But before Aaron gets all quick this tunnel, I don't look at any of them or do any of them until Aaron gets done. And then we go, go that route,
Yeah, it's because we really like to explore the map to see what's there, look for accolades, all that good stuff.
Exactly.
Because if there's something we can show you guys, then we want to do it.
Exactly.
All right, but yeah,
Alright,
there's
next
links
one.
in the war games to the articles specific about those types of war games. We've covered them in previous streams, so let's go ahead and talk about the reputation real briefly.
Now this one you can try out on Triddle. I'm not sure if it's tomorrow or the next day. I'll check the Thor in the stream here. But you can try this out on Triddle list, everything else and all. I would not use to try it that after this is done, they turn off Triddle after this is done. But that's what they usually do. When this goes live, Triddle and Redshirt goes bye-bye until the next big thing. Then they turn it
Well,
off.
they don't go anywhere. You just don't have the same accesses to the content the way you did.
Exactly, because it's a test, it's different. Alright.
But by all means, ladies and gentlemen, keep Triple patched up, even if they're not doing anything with it. Anytime there's a new update in
like
Triple,
today, they had that
it.
computer issue, and while they were going through sector space, all of a sudden, sector space turned into asteroid 2600, and you saw the little oh hell, the name of the shit again, Asnox, Aaron.
What are you talking about?
The ship, Asnoc,
What ship?
the cruiser.
Sorry?
Yeah, the big cruiser, not the little escort, the cruiser.
The new ship?
Yeah, Asnoc.
Huznok.
Huznok, thank you. You saw them. They was going down to neutral space, just everything else, and the game glitched. And honestly, I think they did it on purpose. Though I really do. But the game glitched, and all of a sudden, as they was going through sector space, all the planets looked like asteroids, all the nebulas looked like asteroids, and people started, in the chat, Atari 2600 asteroid, and this everything else and all. Then when they finally got into the one state that they was going to fight this battle, it looked like a Wing Commander 2 type game. It was just real funky looking and everything else and all. And then one of the guys said, "Yeah, we need to check our driver update to this side. This is the computer they use is different than what they always use." So, they ran into, I think they did on purpose because the stream was kind of getting going. They really didn't have anybody talking, even though there was like 20 people. After that, just everything else, it jumped from 20 to about 100 people. Suddenly jumped on to see this, the cryptic people playing Atari 2600 Asteroid game. So, it jumped from 20 to 100 real fast. So, I think they did it on purpose. But anyway, this next case. Now this is you did on a test. I hope you titles got non-total. I hope you titles liked your opinion. If you didn't like something, I hope you liked your opinion. If you
We're talking about
like
the balance changes?
Huh?
We're talking about the balance changes now?
Yep. Because as of now, when it goes live, that's it. Your thyroid will be nerfed a little bit. Science is getting a major stuff on it.
A lot of the changes to the powers are listed in detail further down this stream. We aren't going to go through all of them, but I encourage you to come in, see what's changing.
And real quick, I just clicked on the link. Now this here, you see, ladies and gentlemen, this was going to go to asking people to jump on Triddle, take a look at Triddle, to increase the fun, make it meaningful, blah, 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 retain the value of the player's time. This is going to go dive, but this is, they was asking people to jump on Triddle, test it out, this everything else and all. Now I'm going to go back to the other page. And you see, here's the page, way up here. You see, from here on down, it is long. But now, have you noticed anything different?
Which part are you in?
I am now back on the other page called General.
Okay, you're at the general stuff. Okay, so the general stuff, it is the general isn't very long. It's not until you get down into the
bottom. Read the bottom. Last 3, literally.
Well, like I said, the general section isn't very long. It gets into other things that are longer, like the powers, for example, are really long. But there are a couple of new things that are good to point out. The very first thing, is a free respect token has been given to all characters upon login. That means that if you haven't or had one for a while, or you need to respec your character, yep. This would be a good opportunity to do it, because you will get a free respect token. This is usually something that happens.
Go to FTOacademy.com. Graham's your good friend. They have a skill planner that won't cost you nothing. Jump on there. Use their thing. As I understand it, I just talked to the guy that runs the FTO Academy. They're actually updating right now through the new stuff and through the new everything that's everything else. So save your coins. If you only got like Neon Genie Jr., I'll be able to get a new one, but the second you use it, it's gone again.
And you lifetimers get a lot of them as you go through. Now, because I've got some for my main, like even my main tune, who's been around the entire time. He still has a couple of free ones left. But anyways, when they give you these free respect tokens, they are usually doing it around some sort of change in the system. It's usually relating to powers. The last time we got a free one like this was when they completely revamped the skill tree.
They gave it to us when they brought out the temporal stuff. When the TOS stuff came out, they did.
They revamped the skill tree after that, Jimmy.
Yep. Yeah, because like I said, the TOS stuff came out, then the temporal speculization came out, then the speculization, the total temporal rotation. So they're like, okay, here's the token.
So let's go ahead and move on. I'm gonna point out some more key things here in these, because I did have a chance to read through these pretty thoroughly.
Yeah, because the target status now shows player got the current amount of fleet credit and the lifetime fleet credit earned in total. So it's no more now.
Jimmy, where are you? Because that's not what was next.
1, 2, third one from the bottom in general.
Okay, I'm nowhere near that, buddy.
Yeah.
I have. Let me go ahead and point some things out, because these are kind of important.
Go ahead, because like I said,
especially since you're jumping all the way to the bottom, I have a feeling that you skipped some things.
I glanced at them. It's already 11:30. I know. Till midnight.
Yeah, I know. Don't worry. We're skipping a bunch of stuff just by not looking at the powers. But next thing down is Delta Quadrant mission changes. This is actually kind of something they've done already, but they sort of streamlined it a little bit. They took all those pesky ground adventure zone missions that they had on Kabali Prime.
Yeah, that Kabali Crisis 1, 2, 3 thing.
Well, what they did was, before, they took them out of, just picking them up while you happened to be on Kabali Prime, and they put them in the episode journal, just like they did with the new Romulus stuff. Yeah. Well, now what they've done is they've taken the Kabali Adventure Zone missions from the mission journal, and they've given them... they've replaced them with 3 wrapper missions that contain the removed missions. So basically what happens is they sort of simplified it, which is nice. They also made it so Delta Patrols are no longer required for mission progression, but they do stay in the game. And the big one is that they have done 2 things, and this is important for you and me, especially since we were just talking about leveling. The first thing is that they reduced drastically the experience requirements for level 50 to 60. So you will be able to move faster through those levels. They also scaled the NPCs down between level 50 and 60. They turned their hit point and damage scaling modifier down past level 50, though they will still reach close to the same point level 60. So that means that levels 51 to 54 will have a dramatic shift downward, but the general NPC difficulty will still ramp up as you get closer. So basically, what happened was the NPCs were super tough right out of the box. Now they're scaled more appropriately to level up kind of as you're leveling up. So like your Vaadwaur, the first time you meet them, are just slaughtering you and they're killing you. But they're the same strength at that first 50 as they are at the end. So they changed it so that they move up the way they're supposed to as you level up through the area, which is very nice. It makes it a lot more balanced. It also makes it so we can level up faster in those areas, which is super great. Thank you for listening to us.
I have the gear to get to it, because like I said, I'm 57. I finally had to, put all my characters together, throw it all into my account thing to get like 3 million. So
once these changes go through, Jimmy, once these changes go through, you and I should have an easier time leveling up some of those things that are towards the end of their game.
Exactly.
Alright, so let's see what else they do. They updated the UI for the PvE. That's not surprising, because they're adding that whole thing for the PvP system. Updated the Mark 13. Okay, I'm skipping through a bunch of stuff. Give me a minute. Resolved an issue where the tailor would not recognize a name change done to a player's bridge officer. That's important, because that's an issue I've actually experienced, because I have a bridge officer. He's a science officer, and I hate him. I hate him so much. His name, when it gave it to me, was Wilsam, Wilsam, and I changed it to Wilford. And it would register him as Wilford when I was talking to him, but it would leave him as Wilsam inside my roster, which was weird.
Well, see, a lot of this got typos where it was integrated, I guess, on the one system, and it just wasn't changing there. So when you went to change your name to John Doe,
right,
in the system, it was Jeffrey Doe. But no, I want John Doe, and you can change it. It looked like John Doe.
I noticed a similar problem with my not my bridge officer, but my captain, my new Nausicaan. His name, I changed it. I did a rename token, but his name still shows up wrong in the startup screen.
Wow. Well, that's nice here.
Yep. Removed level restrictions from all armor items purchased from the Lobby store and added information to these items' descriptions explaining how they will automatically change effectiveness as the player levels up, which is huge. Go ahead, Jimmy, that one.
Yeah, but I'm still not going to buy any Lodi. Like I said, the only time I bought Lodi was when that...
you don't buy Lodi, you buy lockbox keys.
Yeah.
If you could buy Lodi, I would do it.
Then, you actually got a lot more Lodis. And you open up like 5 boxes, you already had 60 Lodis right after that, like crazy. Nowadays, if you open up like 60 of them, you're barely able to get one out of them. So it's really ridiculous. But the only Lodi store I had is when they did the 32 tires. You had a chance to take the suit back to the Lodi store and convert it to the Epic Dark Portal or whatever. 32 tires, and
which I only got to do with one tune.
The Obelisk ship, just everything else and all, which I had on one tune. And it didn't cost much, but now it's ridiculously high, and I'm just not going to put the money back up for it.
Alright, so next one down, 23rd century captains can now display their ship's registry number. This was an issue that was happening for a while, so that's finally fixed. Yeah. The progress tab of the status UI shows players their current amount of fleet credits and their lifetime fleet credits earned total, because I believe before it was just showing you what you had currently and not what you had overall.
What you had currently for the day. And if you went and, let's say you went and blew a bunch of stuff to get fleet projects on, boom, that's it, you're back down to 0. That you dumped all your fleet credits into a fleet project to get the non-timer. You don't have nothing anymore. Well, now they're changing that, so that way you could see, how much you have, this and all at any given
Right.
time. But then, in total, as you're playing the game, grinding through the game, that's racking up, so you see your total amount. Now, the other one that I'm really looking forward to, Haskell up. Resulting issues that was causing Nox 13 and higher Starship shields to drop when they basically got hit or whatever. I've actually had that happen on my TOS and my other two, where I'd be going into it, and I've not even started the fight yet, just everything else, and suddenly my shields go off, and I try everything, emergency power to shield, boost shield, everything to get my shields back up. Sorry, no shields.
Right.
Let's destroy your hull.
So let's look at this last one in the general section, because you've been in Tribble, I haven't. Have you seen the new login screen?
I have.
Any thoughts on it? Because I haven't seen it yet. So. Good, huh?
How should I put it?
I don't know. Our login screen has changed a few times over the years, so.
Oh, I had it. What happened? For some reason the page's not lining up correctly. I just messed up the page. Alright, so every single time you log in, you get a new login screen. Let me show real quick.
So are we talking they just updated it from New Frontiers to Escalation, or?
That is this login. When we start the game tomorrow, this goes bye-bye. Oh, they should have put your though. Let me find it. There it is. So when you start the game, this is going to be your new login screen. You'll have, your name, your password, your settings here. If you want to leave because you're not excited, that's everything else, you can click the exit button. But this is the new login screen.
Let me pull Twitch back up so I can see this thing.
Go to the one with the toaster. Go to the one with the toaster.
Oh, that's all they're doing is just showing us the they're changing it from the New Frontiers to Escalation.
This is basically your new login screen.
Okay.
Like they do with the Star Trek Online, they took the upper part of it, and then include that became the new login. This everything else. And you'll see there are things like there's a shit flying around in the background. This everything else. There's other stuff. I don't think the planet is animated. But there are a couple of little shits just zipping around and everything else. But this is the new login.
Yeah, there were some Zankethi ships moving around on the last one. They were hard to see. They were on the bottom.
Yeah, they were hard to see. I thought they were Federation ships.
Anyway.
They're going down. Like I said, this is the new login screen.
Okay. So looking at the systems, Jimmy, I'm gonna say let's direct these fine folks to come and look at these in the link in the stream, with a couple of special highlights.
Yeah.
One, because this is where, in this section, ladies and gentlemen, is where Jimmy and I were talking about. There's a lot of changes to things where they either made things better or made things worse. So there's a lot of stuff here. It talks about the reputation system, how carrier pets are affected, things like that. One big one that I thought was kind of special was this one down here. It is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th from the bottom.
Right there.
What are you looking at?
Dilithium Store has a new section called Account Starship Trait Unlocked, available to all players at level 50 or higher. If the player owns a starship on the player account that grants a trait on the ships listed below, the character on that player's account that are incorrect action display that starship will be able to instead claim a box containing the unlock for the trait for free.
That's very nice.
And you see, these are all
Yeah. That's still very nice. I mean, it's not all of them, but it's a lot of the big ones.
Yeah, but these ain't like the second year anniversary shit, some of that shit.
I don't know what you mean.
Well, some of them
We didn't have starship traits during the second anniversary, Jimmy.
Yeah, got that already. That came from when they brought out the Galaxy X. You got the that already capable. You know, and some of these others I recognize. I have to think of the shit for a second.
Mm-hmm. Anyway,
then you got your carrier pets.
Yeah, they did a lot to the carrier pets, but I was going to skip down through that and pass the reputation system down here to where it's the fifth from the bottom. Added a heavy weapon slot to qualifying Tier 6, Tier 5, and Tier 5U ships. Newly commissioned starships will come pre-equipped with one. The Dilithium store now has a heavy weapon available for free in the Reclaim tab, which can be equipped on any starship with a heavy weapons slot. So that's things like your railgun or the new one on either of the lockbox ships, because heavy weapons are going to become a thing for your higher level ships, and they're only going to be slottable in the heavy weapons spot. Kind of the way that for the Dyson Science Destroyer, we had that one weapon that could only go in the one slot. It's basically like that. Like, you couldn't move it off, you couldn't take it away, you couldn't put it back in, you couldn't do anything with it. It was just permanently there. Well, this is the same idea, except for you can take the heavy weapons on and off, and you can use whatever you like.
So then I can take my neutron bomb off my pilot escort and throw it in my dreadnought cruiser. I like that idea.
Assuming that they consider neutron bomb a heavy weapon.
Exactly. Because there are some shit, like the neutron bomb, you can loot the cannon on the back. Now, it was part of the ship. Now, this next one right here, the experimental proton weapon, so you people that like me who like the Dyson set, and everything else, you can totally upgrade that. Because it was just set at I think it's Turtle Knock 12, that you couldn't upgrade. It was just locked at that level.
So yeah, I mean, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, the systems, there's a lot of stuff in here. We sort of just kind of breezed over it, but there's a lot of neat things in there. The same for the powers, Jimmy. I would say just let them come here themselves. I don't want to go through any of this because
they've talked right here. Brain wants me to point this out.
Okay.
The shield healed and hull healed, not the tires, which you get from the fleet and the sea. As you can see, when you go to the end of the sea,
what section is that under? How far down is
the
that?
heavy weapons. And then
so you're still on the okay. You're still in. Yeah, you're still in the last section. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So Brain wanted to point this out. SH stands for shield heals, HE stands for hull heals. There's a console that you can get from your indices, your fleet indices, this, that, and all, that have these modifiers you throw it in your science slot areas, this, everything else to gauge the modifiers. Well, those are being taken out of the game. So, there are some modifiers, and this is one of them. Because they are going through all the modifiers and seeing, this modifier is acceptable, this modifier, nobody's using it, so we're throwing it away. This one's okay, we'll keep that. No one's really using these. So, if you like a certain device, just everything else, don't use a try it at the the demand for this type of console with this modifier not high enough, it's going to be taken out of the game.
Right.
So this is the third modifier changes.
Oops.
Where they're actually looking at all the different modifiers.
Check your game, Jimmy. It just logged me out.
Yeah, I did.
All right, don't worry about it. We'll go back in a second.
Later.
So basically, Jimmy, this entire power section, it's very, very long. And we've talked about some of these changes before as they've been going in and as we've been testing in Tribble. Honestly, ladies and gentlemen, I'm all for passing up on this one entirely on this stream. Please,
because you see, we're not even halfway yet. So I'm gonna jump through here. I'm gonna put the link. Right now this is a live stream. I have to wait until Twitch is done, processing it, and then I'll throw all these links and everything else. So we're going past towers. The towers are changing. If you're curious, give us a shout out. We'll be glad to go back and reread and tell you what we think of it. But we're gonna jump past it. But yeah, like hazard emitters, there's a lot of towers that's being changed. A lot of it is science. The science towers getting a lot of stuff in. There are some tacticals that are getting nerfed, and there are some where engineers are not getting nerfed on some things, but then on other things, engineers are getting a nerf. But majority of the things, science is getting a nothing, and science is getting a lot of love.
Try not to look at it negatively if you prefer your engineers or your tactical officers like Jimmy and me, because not every change to your abilities is necessarily a bad thing. Hey, I'm just being honest here.
Like I said, Thyro has a slight damage penalty, an accuracy penalty. I like my Thyro World 3. I used to use Beam Overload, and my Dreadnought was powerful with the Beam Overload, so they nerfed it, because when you use Beam Overload with the Stunner Lance together, I was basically one shot in your ass. Nah, too powerful, we're gonna nerf you. Now everybody's majority of people use a Thyro World 3. Nah, too powerful, we're gonna nerf you. Stop nerfing my powers, damn it. I want to have some DDS powers.
Alright, so let's talk about known issues, and then Jimmy, if you don't mind, before we after we talk about the known issues, before we wrap up for the day, I do want to do my usual update disclaimer, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
Cool.
I'm a good way down there.
Yep, known issues. Beautiful thing. There's only a few of them, and they're almost all related to new content.
Yes, so please jump in there and play your thing. Are you serious? Well, I guess they never fixed it, because like I said, on Tribble they were having all kinds of issues. So all those bugs that are getting told, warned, recorded, well, they're getting dragged over to holodeck. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, so, well, they're not all being dragged to holodeck, because like you see here, they're taking out the Foundry functions for a little while, probably while they fix some things. The new queue for Twin Tribulations, you noticed it wasn't in the patch notes up above. They are not launching it with Escalation like they initially planned. They are going to work out the bugs. They are probably going to leave it in Tribble for a little while.
Yeah,
so that we can continue to test it.
Utilization on Tribble, it is majorly broken. There was people like literally. You remember that one time when we went walking through the map, and like one time I fell through our fleet base, and then another time you did, and then another time Ghost. That's basically what's happening. Everybody's tuning in as a team, and they're falling through these open areas or like hidden holes, I guess you'd say, in the floor, and like, oh, I'm down below you guys, I'm above you guys, and other people just falling all through.
But the good news is that once they fix those bugs, they'll bring it over to holodeck for all of us to play.
Yep.
The Kabali Adventure Zone map incorrectly labels the level range of the zones. Now remember, they changed the level range of what the different Vodwar could do, or the different enemies in that area could do, so the map probably still reflects the old level ranges, and not the new ones. Core Assault, they've got a couple of issues there. Looks like they're specific to a couple of things, which includes the fact that the Elite queue is not available. So, Brain Drain, you're probably going to have to deal with just, advanced. Oh, poor Brain Drain.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, man. I had to.
Exactly. Honestly, it's honestly, honestly, no, this is not fully.
That was great. Anyway, the whistle sound for when a queue match is ready plays twice. So when it goes, it does that 2 times instead of 1.
Yeah, and it has a weird echo effect sound for some
Yeah.
reason. Why it's doing the odd echo, unless it's the door queue or queue and south or somebody, but it's got a weird, double echo noise to it when it plays. It's really, I like it. It's kind of different to hear it, but it's funky listening.
Yeah. And then when player opens the new PvE queue for the first time, the categories will be out of order. All you have to do to fix this is to close the window and reopen it, and then it's golden. It's good to go.
That's right there. Now, ladies and gentlemen, the TDT queue. When you open up the little thing that then all the, queue to the crystal entity, queue to delete alert, they've completely changed all that. Now, totally a lot simpler, but I have seen it where they open it up and there's nothing there. You close it, open it up, everything's there. Close it, open it up, and let's say your last one was, you're dealing with a Dorg. To this time around, you want to deal, because you want to get undine marks. Well, it opens up, and it shows everything on to the Dorg, but no undines. So it's trying to figure out what you want to play and trying to, learn how you play, but at the same time, it's just a jumbled mess.
Alright. So, that's about it for the notes, for the known issues, all that stuff. So, Jimmy, before I do my disclaimer, do you have anything else you wanted to add?
Take your time. Go get some Romulan ale. Go get another bottle of blood wine. Whatever the Romulans like to eat, whatever the Klingons like to eat. Earlier we were talking about Hawaiian pizzas on the show and this, everything else. Go order yourself some pizza from Cork's Bar and this, everything else, because this is going to take a little while to kind of get going.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do my disclaimer then real quick here, Jimmy.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have heard me say this many, many times. So I hope that you take it to heart. I'm gonna have a little one-on-one, you and me. What's going to happen is tomorrow, everybody and their fucking mother is going to be trying to get into Star Trek Online to play the new content. There will be delays. There will be bugs. There will be problems. There will be queues you have to actually wait for. Be patient. Don't go off the handle. Don't go start yelling. Don't go taking to social media and talking about how Stowe can't get their act together or that Cryptic can't get their act together, because it is a game. People are working very hard to make it enjoyable for us, and the best way, if you run into an issue, is not to badmouth Cryptic on the Facebook or Twitter or whatever the hell social media it is that you use. The best thing to do is to hop into that little question mark, report the bug, and keep going. Enjoy the content. Like Jimmy said, take your time. Be nice. Don't be a jerk. They're working hard. They have been here with us, giving us awesome stuff to play with for 7-8 years now, and they're going to keep doing it. And they do listen to us. So submit that feedback. Get into Tribble. Update it often. Play with it. Test it. Do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and step off my soapbox now.
Exactly. And then, like they said in the train, as you was watching the train earlier, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, there were people asking when the Star Trek Discovery comes out, there was like 10 people. Will you be adding content and shit on the Discovery? And
Probably.
Like kept saying, right now we can't say nothing about it. We can't say nothing about it.
Well, honestly, they probably will after a time. It depends on also on how things go with Discovery. But
Exactly.
And speaking of Discovery, it's kind of cool. So as Jimmy knows, I'm going out of town this weekend, so you won't see me streaming with Jimmy Friday or Saturday. I am actually going.
with me. Good luck.
I know, poor people. They just gotta deal with Jimmy by himself. No one to fact check him or anything. I am actually heading over to Kansas City. The wife and I are going to go over to Comic Con, and that's what made me think of it was the captain who's going to be on Star Trek Discovery, Jason Isaacs, who was Lucius Malfoy in Harry Potter. If you watched those movies, he is one of the guests who's going to be there, which is kind of cool.
Oh, nice.
Will Wheaton will also be there for Star Trek news.
I did find out that one other show I love following, Star Trek Continues, they're going to be there too. So,
yeah.
Crew Star Trek Continues, definitely say hi. Because the one that plays the doctor, the counselor, she is a Star Trek convention junkie. She goes out to every one of them just like Counselor Troy does, and does every one of them just like Counselor Troy. And from what I understand, her and Counselor Troy, I'm not sure it's yours or if there's another one, where they're actually getting together and they're going out to one of these comic book contests, everything else.
I don't know.
A little bit Star Trek together. So she's going to be at one table.
If they were going to be at this one, there would have been a thing about it.
No, I don't think it's this one. But I know, what's her name? Her name's Nichelle. Her real name is Nichelle.
Now, Gigi Edgley, who was in Farscape, is in Star Trek Continues, I believe, and she was at the one last year, and she talked a little bit about it.
Right. But now she just got done posting. I'm like, oh wow, that's so cool that they're getting together to go out at that all and shed a lot of Star Trek out there.
Right. It's pretty neat.
All right, so like I said, it's coming up on midnight. I definitely need to kind of get into it because, like I said, I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen. It's just bear with me. I definitely need to get the power supply. Thank you for bearing with me without dealing with these issues while I push through them.
Right.
But no, like I said, tomorrow, when all this goes down, don't be surprised if you see, you're, 107 and line up the 1,000,007. That tends to happen because everybody will log in, everybody will try to check into it, and you got to figure, there's a lot of my other friends who are lifetimers, and this is the only time they'll sign in now. Anything else, they don't care anymore, because, and speaking of that, tell you, if you're watching my stream, welcome back.
We were just yelling at him the other day, telling him to get his butt back here.
Yep. So when I was talking to you, Aaron, me and Brandon were just talking just to Thor, and he's like, man, I want him back. I miss him. And I was like, man, he needs to get back. This TDT, it definitely will be up his alley, just everything else.
Especially if he manages to land that new Raider.
I'm back.
Especially if he manages to land that new Raider. It's going to be pretty sweet.
That's really interesting.
But yeah, tomorrow. So tomorrow, Jimmy, you're gonna do the PvP queues without me. You're gonna get with like the 10th Fleet folks.
When you ask me 10 times in a row, let's do the teacher, and I'm gonna tell you 10 times in a row. Now.
Yep. Featured episodes for us.
I'm gonna make a clipboard or whatever those call things that you throw on Facebook, those logo things. And I'm gonna throw it every time you yell. I'm gonna pop that thing up on your Facebook. No.
So look forward to that, ladies and gentlemen. Again, be patient with everything. The patching probably will be a little hectic. So if you're in game and your computer starts to do the pre-patch, definitely do the pre-patch. Let it sit and do its thing, so that way you can get it won't be as painful.
Doing that now. Yesterday it didn't, but then again, my game.
It started doing it on Friday. Yeah, it started doing it on Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
So it's been doing it pretty much every day I've logged in since, and that's not that much because I haven't barely been on this weekend.
Here's the thing. Now, me and Brandon were just talking. If you look at your file size, ladies and gentlemen, when the game first came out, it was like 9 gigabytes. It on the
God.
At the second year anniversary, it's like coming up on 11, 12. Last year, it's now up to 13 gigabytes. So, if you do a hard wipe and reset, don't use the times down the road, it's going to be 15 or 20 gigabytes big. But then you look at some of the other games like Star Wars Old Republic. Star Wars Old Republic is already up to 15 gigabytes. Star Citizen is already up to like 25 on 30 gigabytes. So soon, now I play all my games on SSD. Every one of them goes on a 480 gigabyte SSD. Pretty soon, now granted you can get SSD, really cheap now, but pretty soon, hard drives and sell the one with a little spinning disk, that's getting phased out where everybody's now starting to use, SSD to the storage and those little tiny, they call them NDAs or NDEs or ND. They look like plastic. You stick them on your motherboard, so they look like plastics. That's where you put your operating systems and your main computer, and everything else can go on your SSD. And soon, 480 is not going to be big enough. You're going to have to start getting these, 1 terabyte SSD. Like just now, I just seen Western Digital. It was Western Digital that came out with a 950 gigabyte. But of course, they want $300. But soon, give it time. That's going to come down. That's going to be $50. So soon these games are going to get big, or you're going to need a big SSD for these games. What about you, Aaron?
Well, I think our stream's been going on for a while. We've got about, by the way, for 30 minutes, 40 minutes before these countdowns are done on the Starbase and stuff.
Cool. Well, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and end the stream. Now, you did on YouTube, please give me a few minutes, just everything else, while Twitch does is processing this, everything else, and then I'll get it uploaded. For a while, I'm going to do it this way. I have actually been going to, not to get the community college. It's an online community college I've been going to learn how to become a professional game streamer. And just last week, I learned actually how to use, these game editing, Cyberlink video editor type thing, just everything else. So I'm going through the courses, learning how to do it, try to be more professional. The funny thing is, now I use XSplit for a lot of things. Now they actually strongly recommend ODS. So I'm actually learning how to use ODS, how to set up ODS. So tonight, this is actually my third training, use this, everything else. I've done a little quick test and then turn it off, go back to XSplit. But hopefully, sound quality, video quality, and tell me if it sounds good, tell me if it looks good, because it'll help me understand. And then please, and once again, Steered, you notice the little thing's not there, I'll put that in later, but Steered had donated $5, so you get on my Patreon page. He had donated $5 to my A&D computer I want to build, because I'm antique, and soon, even Aaron, who's using an anniversary CPU, Toss Hogger, Joker, J2 Cents, they're already saying that a lot of people like us that are on DDR3, next year we're going to have to start upgrading because our computers are going to be antique and be like Windows 98. You can handle it, though when Windows 20 comes out, Windows 20 comes out, our computers ain't going to be able to handle it. Because we're going to be antique by then. So anything else?
No.
Yeah, well, I'm going to wrap it up. Give me a little bit, ladies and gentlemen, that's on YouTube to kind of patch and process and send it over. But for right now, let me do it this way until I get things reset again. And thank you again. Please follow, subscribe. And again, give Critic some leeway, because this is going to be, like they said on the one patch today, the last time they had a huge patch and all these bugs and all these issues is when the new Romulus stuff came out, and all hell went down because they were fixing the Klingon story arc, the Romulan story arcs, and the Federation, and everything went bonkers because the whole new setup and everything came in. So give them time. Otherwise, I'll see you all out there in the stars. So Do you Federation people, Little Long Proctor, you Klingon players, Katla, and you Iranian players, jump on through, and at the end I'd like to say, see you out there in the stars. Aaron?
Good night, ladies and gentlemen. See you tomorrow.
Yep. And yes, ladies and gentlemen, even though it says the starting soon, like I said in the other picture, it's not working. So I am just gonna, you'll see starting soon again, but I'm actually ending the stream because I don't know. For some reason, I tried to use the picture, like I said, in fact, I'll flip it now. See that close to the ending, the stream has ended, but for some reason it's showing starting soon. So as soon as I figured out how to set these little scene boxes up, but we're ending the stream, not starting again. Good night, see everybody tomorrow. Aaron? Aaron's already done the door queen. No comment.